Just a quick reminder for you to like, subscribe, and rate this podcast so we can get your feedback and know how to make it better. Hey, it's Ari, looking to kick off 2022 with a recap of what we experienced in 2021. Just like last year, we're doing another Home Alone episode, and hopefully, like the movies, the sequel will be better than the original. I thought a lot about what was the overarching theme? What's kind of my takeaway from 2021 manufacturing in the state of Connecticut? And I think my takeaway is that the broader community, political, educational, the public in general, has much more broadly embraced manufacturing. There's a lot we can talk about, but I just did want to start off by thinking about and acknowledging the big, wide embrace of manufacturing, starting with Governor Ned Lamont, who's really embraced manufacturing, the power of it in the state of Connecticut to grow jobs, to support our economy, to help even with equity and inclusion by providing jobs across the educational, socioeconomic, racial, and other diversity backgrounds. Such an exciting place to be. We're looking at large manufacturing companies like Stanley Black & Decker fully engaging and embracing the community with investments continued in the manufactory, conversations in Parkville, and others. The University of Hartford coming out with an aerospace engineering program. Trinity College looking to partner with the advanced manufacturing resurgence in the greater Hartford area. Goodwin College doing more and partnering with CCAT and Pratt & Whitney. We're seeing tons and tons of growth continue in the electric boat area. Sikorsky doubling down on their investment in Connecticut and looking at their advanced helicopters coming out. All the manufacturing, medical devices, other unique products, chemical processes, automotive, many things in between, just really coming together all across the spectrum. It's just been really exciting to see and take part in. And while we're not out of the woods, unfortunately, with COVID, which is where I thought we would be when we kicked off the year, we are still seeing a resurgence in the getting back together events. Whether it was the ACM trade show, the CBIA manufacturing, Manufacturer CT annual meetings, EMA annual meetings, and others, we're getting together with our friends, with our colleagues, making new friends, making new acquaintances in live events all across the state. It's just been really great to see and feeling that embrace. And I have to say, I think the broader view of manufacturing that we've been talking about for years, that it's not the dark, dirty, dingy days of yesteryear, but it's really the lean, green, clean, advanced manufacturing of the future with careers and technology that are exciting and new and innovative. It's starting to feel like that's starting to catch root in young people, in high schools, in tech schools, in community colleges and universities. It's really exciting to see. I think the Made in America podcast had an opportunity to play a small part in getting the word out, but it's really the manufacturing leaders themselves that have been the ones to embrace that have done tours of their facilities, that have been meeting with their legislators, taking time out of their schedules to really get the word out. And all these micro initiatives, macro initiatives that we've been working on, the collaboration at the CMC where the different trade groups get together and people being out there, we're starting to reap the rewards of all the seeds that we've sown over the past 5 years. And I think when I think about 2021, I think that's something I'm gonna take away from that. But I don't want to overshadow some of the challenges that we've had. One of the major challenges that's kind of come back has been an old challenging friend, which is workforce. The demand for career jobs, employees in manufacturing continues at a strong pace and looks to do so for years to come. We need engineering talent, we need production talent, we need sales and marketing talent, we need HR talent, all across the board. And it's a war on talent out there. And so we're out there trying to find that. It's very nice to see Kelly Valeries and the governor investing time and the Workforce Council embracing partnerships with the private sector to see what we can do to get more people in the pipeline. But that problem does exist and it's out there. And we're gonna need to do more in 2022 to figure out how we can close that gap. It was exciting. I was able to do a keynote speech for the SMA, the Smaller Manufacturers Association. And one of the challenges I put to that group, which I'll put here again today, is I want to see us as manufacturers engage with people where they are. If we want to get to young people, if we want the next generation to think positively about manufacturing, we need to embrace the communication platforms where they are. Obviously, newspaper ads are very passé, but frankly, Monster.com, Career Builder, those things are also in the past too. What are we doing to get on TikTok? How can we make videos that will engage young people and, by the way, older people, where they're spending tons of their time? And I think video, especially short, engaging video and audio, is a huge advantage for manufacturers. It's hard to recruit someone to an accounting firm in a TikTok 30-second video, right? It's not super exciting to see somebody typing on their computer, crunching numbers. But boy, is it exciting to see what's happening in a manufacturing environment. It's so cool to see what's happening on an assembly line or how we're bringing in materials and shipping them out. There's just so many cool things in manufacturing that make for great video engagement. I think we've got a real opportunity there, especially on that TikTok platform, which is just growing so fast. But there's still LinkedIn, there's still Facebook, and creating engaging content. Not just taking the old job post and throwing it on there, but looking at multimedia and getting out there to engage the employees and future employees where they are, I think is so important. There's also great opportunities to engage with our educational institutions. I referenced earlier University of Hartford, I referenced Trinity College, but University of Bridgeport, Sacred Heart University, Yale, UConn, all have engineering programs and a huge reservoir of talent. What we need to do as manufacturing leaders is proactively go and reach out to the people in those schools to help them understand what we're looking for, to engage and offer summer internships, go to career fairs, talk to the people, the students on those campuses about the opportunities in manufacturing, and get them to see for themselves what's going on. That will help us so much into the future. Workforce development needs to be a continued massive focus in 2022. I'd be remiss to talk about 2021 if I didn't mention supply chain disruption. We're feeling it across the board in the IT sector for sure, and clearly in manufacturing. We're seeing prices of raw materials rise, we're seeing delays of getting things in, and that's certainly been a challenge in putting a ton of pressure on our MRP processes. We need to look at what we can do to embrace that, and there's lots of best practices. If you haven't been going to some of the associations, if you haven't been talking to your peers, now's the time to do that. Happy to reach out to us. We can connect you with some folks, but there's been some really creative things people are doing to leverage technology systems that they have to just rethink how they're doing their MRP, their resource management. And it's been really inspiring to see because I don't think that these supply chain disruptions are going to end. And certainly we've got the price increases we need to deal with. I'm always one to look at the flip side or the positive side of things. And one of the things we have been hearing about and seeing that the supply chain disruptions have caused is new opportunities for reshoring, for getting new customers who want to find products that are made closer to shore. So there's some opportunities there, and I think we need to develop our relationships with our suppliers even tighter so that we can make sure we're getting the supplies that they need, because where there's limited supply, everyone needs to make a choice. Where does that limited supply go? So we want to develop those relationships so that our companies can be the ones that catch that limited supply when it's there. I also want to talk a little bit about, which I referenced earlier, but the increased engagement in industry groups. I think COVID really opened up people's eyes to the power of collaboration, and it's been great to see that collaboration continue. People participating in events, virtual and otherwise, that involve the different groups that have been working together all across our state to help share best practices with manufacturers, to help share and educate the people inside of our organizations to be better and learn new things. And it's been great to see people embracing that, both online and live. And I really hope that that continues into 2022. We've had the opportunity to talk to some folks who didn't know about organizations like the Connecticut Center for Advanced Technology. And if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't been to visit CCAT in East Hartford, you are missing out. It is a world-class opportunity to see the state leveraging federal dollars, investing in new technology, not just in theory, but in applied new technology that manufacturers, small, medium, and large, could take advantage of. There's a team at CCAT that can show us that new technology and help show how to implement it and help find programs, again, state and federal, to help pay for that new technology. What an amazing opportunity. And manufacturers in the state of Connecticut that aren't looking at ways to take advantage of that are really, really missing out. So now let's talk about 2022. First thing is, Hopefully I'll be a little bit more prophetic about 2022 than I was about 2021. I'd gone back to review Home Alone episode 1 before doing this recording, and I talked a lot about coming out of COVID and what was going to happen when that was in the rearview mirror. And certainly Delta and Omicron have showed us that getting that into the rearview mirror is going to be more challenging than we thought. That being said, it does seem that we've now finding better ways to live with the new reality of COVID in our world. We're finding ways to bring people back to the office and collaborate where necessary. Clearly, manufacturers have led the way on this because of the need to have people in the office, but certainly continuing to embracing this new reality and how we can get that collaboration and that camaraderie feeling, even if we aren't together as much as we were in the past. Embracing new technology to do it and new and creative ways. That, I think, is going to continue into 2022. And frankly, I think thinking back about how we found about Zoom or Microsoft Teams and how we've leveraged that, thinking about how we can do that more as travel comes back. Those of us who've been traveling know that nothing really replaces the face-to-face shaking hands, even great video, especially when it comes to developing new relationships. But maintaining relationships and leveraging video to help us maintain relationships better without having to do as much travel, but getting more of the reward from that, that's something I think we're going to have to think about more in 2022 and embracing that. And a big opportunity, because those video conferencing, now that everyone's comfortable with it, does help deepen relationships. It's not going to prevent travel, but certainly can augment it. I also think cybersecurity is going to continue to be a big focus in 2022. There's no doubt that we have seen the level of attacks increase dramatically in the last 2 years. That path seems to be continuing, in part because they've been so successful. And so we're going to have to continue to invest not just in cybersecurity tools, but in training for our teammates on how they can be cyber safe and cyber aware. I'm sure many people reading the paper recently have heard about the uptick in cyber espionage that's been going on with people. And so insider threat training, making sure we understand what that looks like and investing in that, policies and procedures, importantly, taking care of our trade secrets, our trade know-how is going to be really important in 2022. And so we'll need to be thinking about and investing in that. I also think continue to lean in to new manufacturing technologies. Industry 4.0, how can we leverage our technology more on the shop floor and off the shop floor? I referenced in terms of workforce development in the earlier segment about leaning into TikTok and using video and audio. That needs to continue in 2022 and needs to triple, quadruple down. What can we do to look at new customers, existing customers, new employees and existing employees to engage them leveraging technology where they are? In Connecticut, we're so lucky to not only have CCAT, but to have the manufactory from Stanley Black & Decker in Hartford, where any manufacturer can reach out and set up and take a tour and see live what is possible with the next generation of manufacturing technology, with robots and cobots and AR and VR. There's so many opportunities to help collaborate and train and drive efficiencies. I have seen with my own two eyes manufacturers in Connecticut with small manufacturers, 20 employees, several hundred employees, embracing lights out manufacturing and robotics. We had CJ Bieni on this year from Robotics Advantage just talking about the amazing things robotics can do for manufacturers in Connecticut. And it's not the future, it's here today. We're seeing it, and manufacturers in 2022 need to look at how can they do it more, and if they aren't doing it, where they can start doing it. So absolutely crucially important. Related to embracing technology, related to opportunities, upskilling and reskilling our team is crucial. We have so many resources in the state of Connecticut that can help us both with the costs of and the content of training our employees. Goodwin University talked about their mobile lab where they can come out and do training on site, or we can send people in. We can look back and embrace our great community colleges in the state of Connecticut to see what we can do to get training programs tailor-made for the people in our organizations to help them improve and enhance their skills. Things we can do not just to eliminate waste, but to improve efficiencies by having our employees be able to do more because they understand technology and they understand how to think about manufacturing in new and different ways. Such an important way to not just get efficiencies today, but to keep our employees engaged for the long term and use them as referral sources to help find new employees as we grow our businesses and look to replace workers that may be retiring. So many exciting things coming ahead in 2022 with these reshoring options, with embracing technology, with training our staff, with engaging in the community, with getting involved in trade organizations and embracing our peers to learn what's going on there. I'm really excited about the opportunities that I see in 2022. I'm looking forward to having more guests on the podcast to share their best practices and see what's going on. And most importantly, I'm looking forward to engaging with you, the audience, to bring more value, to bring more great stories, both personal and business, to your attention in the year ahead. Thank you for listening in the years past, and I look forward to so much more in 2022.
Made in America with Ari Santiago is brought to you by Compass MSP.
Thanks for listening and spending some time with me today. My goal is to help build a strong manufacturing community, and it would be impossible to do without all of you.